In this video, I was going to do a review of this Ryobi USB lithium, but it's in a blister pack, and these are really hard to get into. And you know, I try using a utility knife, and if you're not too careful with that, you can cut yourself. Scissors sometimes can do it, but other times they just get bound up on it. So I figured there had to be a better solution, and then I came across this product. This is the Ryobi USB Lithium Power Cutter Kit. It uses a similar battery. It's just an amp less than the one that I was going to do a review on. But I figure I'd get this and see if we can get that package open. Of course, my dilemma right now is, how do I get the tool out of this blister pack? Thanks to my Fisker, I was able to get it open. Here's our tool. It is a self-sharpening blade, cuts up to a 1/4 inch material, and we're looking at leather, plastic, cardboard, carpet, and rubber items. Kit includes a 2 amp hour battery and a USB charging cord. So of course the first thing we have to do is plug this in somewhere where it can charge up. And no, there is no adapter included, so you have to use maybe the power adapter from your cell phone or tablet. And we have a blinking yellow, so this needs to charge. The included battery has an LED indicator that when plugged in will glow either green for it's fully charged, yellow for 50% charge, and then red for nearly empty and it needs to be charged. Battery just goes into the handle in the back, and let's see, it only goes in one way, cap comes on, and then you're ready to use your tool. Well, at first it looks like there are no instructions included. If you open up the packaging, in between the front and back sheet, there is a operator's manual. You can scan for DIY inspiration. You can register your product and get a chance to get a gift card. And you get also a manual for the battery. So they are indeed included if you can get past the blister pack. Things to know about the tool: the blade is self-sharpening, 270 RPMs when it's running. Of course, you can replace the blade because eventually it will wear out. It's got a guide for cutting through the material. There's a trigger on the handle along with a lockout, so they both have to be simultaneously pressed. You allow this to come up to speed, then you let the blade do the cutting and you just guide it through the material. Right behind the lockout, there's a little LED which will also give you an indication of battery status. While it's totally possible to cut yourself on this, if I slid my thumb up this way along the blade, it would peel off skin. For the most part, you're protected from getting in the way of the blade, and of course, you're going to be holding it by the handle, so you'll be behind the blade. But it is brand new, razor sharp. Again, it'll be traveling close to 300 RPM, but it's pretty well protected from the user, so that's a nice thing. UL listed, 2-year warranty. We get our recharged battery, drop it in. It only goes in one way. By the way, the battery does warm up during charging. It doesn't get hot, but it does get warm. So we press the lockout, squeeze the trigger, and it comes up to speed. You can let go of the lock. And let's try our friend here, the original blister pack. See what happens. Little difficulty cutting around that edge. I can smell the plastic. And perhaps I should have kept the blade going to remove it. So it does cut through the material. It's not super fast by any stretch of the imagination. Definitely much easier to take it out if the blade is rotating. As you can see, this lip here does cause problems for it. Here, let's try a flat part of the plastic. No problem with that. So it will cut. It's self-sharpening. Of course, it'll cut through stuff like this paper material. This is 2 layers. Like butter. As you can see, it has much better success on straight cuts where there's no double edges. It does really great going through that. So this will help you to get through some blister packs, but on anything that has like a double lip or triple lip, which is most blister packs, you know, it tends to hang up a bit. So kind of handy, but not the perfect tool. So I think between this and a utility knife, you'll have the most success. Of course, the advantage to this tool is that there's very little risk of cutting yourself, as opposed with a utility knife where there's a much greater risk of that happening. And it's, you know, this is just, you throw a battery into it, you push 2 buttons, and you're cutting. And it's not only good for blister packs, but materials up to a 1/4 inch. Again, you're not going to cut metal through this. You're not going to do wood, but things like cardboard, plastic, carpet, rubber, and leather, you should be fine with this tool to cut. So as long as you don't push it beyond its limitations, I think this is okay. Is it absolutely essential in a shop? No. I mean, you know, you can work around it with scissors, utility tools, and other cutting blades that you might have around. But it's a nice little convenience for those occasional times when you buy something and you need to get inside that blister pack. So I can recommend it with the reservation that this isn't a tool for everyone. It does come with the battery and a charging cable, so that's nice. Buying the 3-amp battery, if you want to have a spare, can get a little pricey unless you buy 2 of them in a kit. That's about the downside to this tool, and it's sort of limited to just the items I listed. It's a cutting tool with a limited use factor, but if your use falls within that, then this is a nice thing to have around. If you found this video interesting or useful, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, join the subscription team, and as always, thank you ever so much for watching.